plan to do.
Trainers don't know if it's a boy or a girl. The mother won't let anyone near her baby, but they do say it appears that both are doing just fine tonight. And if mom doesn't want you to go near the baby, I would suggest you don't do that. Matt?
Never do what mom says not to do. Never.
How are we looking, last look?
We're looking pretty good. We got some showers around in the morning hours and maybe the noon hours, but then we clear out. And once they go away, folks, they're going to be gone for a while. We're going to see some nice sunshine on Wednesday and Thursday and even Friday with temperatures climbing into the 60s. We should be about 57 this time of year, Steve. So the storminess will be to our south. It'll be to the east, but we're going to be okay.
But the snow stuff is pretty much gone.
Winter's not over yet. Winter's not over yet. We've had snow in this town as late as April. So
has it really been April?
Back in the 50s, I believe, yeah.
Okay, well, that was a long time ago. It's not going to happen again. Mark that down, Ron Carlson.
Got it.
Mark it down right now. Not going to happen again. That's our report. We'll be back tomorrow night. I can pick on Matt some more. We'll see you then. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for watching Channel 2 News, the Northwest News Leader. Tomorrow morning, join Dan Christopher and Janice Weibel for Channel 2 News This Morning.
March 4th, 1996.
It is the fourth suicide bombing attack in 9 days, leaving almost 60 Israelis dead and hundreds injured. From all sides of the Middle East peace process, condemnation.
The Hamas has declared war on Israel, and Israel will act accordingly.
I condemn strongly who are behind it.
The enemies of peace have murdered completely innocent Israeli citizens, including children, in their hysterical, determined, fanatic attempt to kill all hope of peace.
With the peace process now on hold and Israeli politics in turmoil, are the terrorists winning?
This is the end. We can't stand no more.
This is ABC News Nightline. Substituting for Ted Koppel and reporting from Washington, Chris Wallace.
From the moment Israeli Prime Minister Rabin and PLO leader Arafat engaged in that historic handshake some 2.5 years ago, all sides knew there would be forces in the Mideast that would do everything they could to destroy the peace process. With tragic regularity, terrorists blew up buses, killing dozens of Israelis. But the process of turning Palestinian territory back to the Palestinians continued. Until now. Today, with the fourth suicide bombing in just over a week, the deadliest stretch of terror in Israel's history, the peace process was stopped cold. Israel's government announced it has established a new command to wage war on the bombers, even if that means going back into areas that are now under Palestinian control. And later, you'll hear an interview we did this evening with Israel's foreign minister, in which he says his government is now prepared to strike even into other Arab countries that are supporting the terror. But first, we have the latest on the carnage in the streets. From Nightline's Dave Marish.
Unbelievable as it sounds, the terrorist attack today in Tel Aviv, which killed at least 13 people and injured dozens more, could have been even worse. Israeli officials say the suicide bomber had targeted a crowded new shopping mall, filled today with children in costumes, celebrating the Jewish holiday of Purim. When he spotted a police guard at the mall, officials say the terrorist simply detonated his explosives on the street in front of a line of people using an automatic teller machine. Today's was the fourth suicide bombing in Israel in the past 9 days. Attacks last Sunday in Jerusalem and Ashkelon, yesterday in Jerusalem and today in Tel Aviv have claimed at least 58 lives. And there's been another casualty. The peace process in the Middle East has been stopped dead in its tracks. Israel's delegation in Washington for peace talks with Syria has been recalled home.
It is the sense of the government that in this period of crisis and mourning,
it is the right thing to do. And so the 2 or 3 days of negotiations with Syria that were planned for this week have been postponed.
Also imperiled by the terrorist wave, the last stages of Israeli-Palestinian peacemaking and the political careers of Yasser Arafat and Shimon Peres. The Israeli prime minister was jeered again today by angry crowds that had come to the scene of the crime. After an emergency meeting with his cabinet late in the day, Peres announced a new anti-terrorist command authorized to enter Palestinian territory, quote, to hit Hamas and the Islamic Jihad wherever they are.
It is clearly a war against those people who wants to cause agony and pain and wants to destroy Israel and wants to destroy the peace process. No doubt about it.
But outside the defense ministry, more angry demonstrators lit bonfires, denounced Peres, and called for his resignation.
No to war. Yes to peace.
Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat gathered tens of thousands of followers today in Gaza to denounce the terrorists and to announce a crackdown on paramilitary groups.
My brothers, there is an attempt to destroy the Palestinian dream and peace. And these attacks and violence and terrorism hurt the Palestinian people. And its target is not only the peace process.
Even as the crowd cheered, Arafat's security forces were making arrests. And tonight, Arafat personally called Peres to claim the capture of, quote, the mastermind of 3 of the last 4 bombings. Israeli leaders say this is just a down payment on actions Arafat must take to save his credibility in Israel.
He has an administration in Gaza and in parts of the West Bank. If this administration is to survive, if it is to develop, if the Palestinians have a future as a political entity, they must crush the terrorist challenge.
There are many steps that still can be taken to ostracize and isolate the military wing of Hamas.
Washington-based scholar Robert Satloff says a few arrests will have limited impact. What could be an even stronger signal?
If, for example, every imam from the pulpits in the mosques in Gaza were to get up on Friday and say that these people aren't going to heaven, but are in fact committing a grave sin, that would be an important step toward isolating and ostracizing Hamas.
The news of today's bombing got to President Clinton just as he was arriving in Detroit on his way to an event that had been postponed in November following the assassination of Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin.
I want to express my deep anger at the news of this latest bombing in Israel.
Mr. Clinton promised America would act against the terrorists.
These forces of terror shall not triumph. Together with those who have worked so hard for lasting peace in the Middle East, the United States is committed to confronting this challenge and to prevailing over these forces of hate and violence.
ABC's Ann Compton spent the day traveling with the president.
In addition to expressing his anger in public, the president is also setting in motion some strategic planning on what the U.S. might do next. He is asking his Middle East Brain Trust, which is meeting back at the White House while he is here in Michigan, to advise him if there is any technical assistance or even hardware to prevent future violence that the U.S. might share not only with Israel, but perhaps with Yasser Arafat's Palestinian Authority. And the president has written to Arafat asking him to move more swiftly against Hamas.
From the State Department, ABC's David Ensor says today's White House meeting considered possible American actions against Hamas.
President Clinton banned overt Hamas fundraising here last year, but the Israelis are saying that money from here is still getting through to them. So U.S. officials are looking for ways to plug the gaps.
Today's crisis, says Ambassador Dennis Ross, the man who has for nearly a decade spearheaded American peace initiatives in the Middle East, involves the highest stakes.
There's no question that the purpose of those who carry out these acts is not to promote peace, it's to kill peace. And it's important that they not be allowed to succeed in what they're doing.
For America, this crisis risks wiping out the efforts of the last 3 administrations to bring peace to the Middle East. But for Israel, the attacks of Hamas and its suicide bombers threaten the security, even the existence of a nation. I'm Dave Marish for Nightline in Washington.
When we return, the leader of Israel's opposition party, Benjamin Netanyahu, who has been sharply critical of the government's peace process with the Palestinians.
This is ABC News Nightline, brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer.
These days, you're working harder than ever. You need a truck that does too. Don't move. Introducing the all-new 1997 Ford F-150. With even more horsepower and torque, and all the legendary strength of an F-Series.
Better get to the Grand Canyon before we do.
The all-new Ford F-150.
When you paint, you need more than a stroke of luck. You need Ace. Ace makes their own paint, so you get all the quality for a lot less than the other leading brands. So don't paint yourself into a corner.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware folks.
In January, Publishers Clearinghouse surprised one winner.
We just won $10 million!
Starting March 21st, they'll wake up 30 winners in 30 days with prizes up to $100,000. Enter today and you could wake up a winner.
Thank you!
Maxed out cards, bad checks, an epidemic of women gamblers. You'll never guess who's steering them toward health. Watch and you'll understand on World News Tonight.
When wild weather hits, stay safe with the Channel 2 News Storm Team.
We'll be on the weather showing you what to expect. You get more live weather reports and accurate storm tracking.
Plus, complete listings on all road conditions and school closures.
And that means the Channel 2 Storm Team gives you the best coverage of the storm from start to finish.
When wild weather hits, keep it on Channel 2 News.
This storm has deepened rapidly
and really causes some problems.
So that's a reality.
Your storm team in the spirit of the Northwest.
Almost every day, a new study comes out about health and fitness. Is coffee good or bad for you? Just how much exercise should you get? Keeping up can be confusing. I'm Paula Gunnis from Channel 2 News. The goal of our two-year health reports is to cut through the confusion, to help separate fact from fad, and to give you the information you need to stay healthy. Keep that healthy spirit with Channel 2's two-year health reports, only on KATU Spirit 2, the spirit of the Northwest.
A little earlier this evening, I spoke with Israeli opposition leader Benjamin Netanyahu, and I asked him how far Israel should go in its war against the terrorists.
Well, I think it's a battle. It's not war for the sake of war. It's a war against those who would destroy the very life of Israel and would certainly make peace impossible. You can't have peace if you're blown to pieces, and that is something that the entire people of Israel back. Just how far is something the security forces will have to decide. The government decided today, by its own declaration, to give complete freedom of action to the security forces to root out the Hamas terrorists wherever they are, and the government will enjoy our full support. There are no political differences in Israel on that.
Do you view Arafat as a partner in this new war against the bombers, as an impediment, or as irrelevant?
Unfortunately, he's become irrelevant. He is either unable or unwilling to take the necessary action against the Hamas and Islamic Jihad terrorists. And that being the case, he is jeopardizing Israeli lives. He's jeopardizing the real prospect for peace. Somebody has to take that action. Now, you see, Arafat hasn't dismantled the terrorist infrastructure. He has not incarcerated the terrorist leaders, except one or two instances. He's not disarmed the Hamas terrorists. He's not shut down their headquarters. He's not extradited extraditable killers, those we've asked for. He's done nothing, or practically nothing. And the result is what you see today in Tel Aviv. We don't have to argue with Arafat. That's not the point. We really have to ensure that the kids of Israel, the children of Israel, some of whom were bombed in downtown Tel Aviv today, can walk the streets. And if we don't have that, then there's no meaning to peace. I want a peace with meaning, and I want peace with security. And that's what I'm going to support the government in trying to achieve.
Mr. Netanyahu, we saw anger spilling out into the Israeli streets today. Israeli crowds booing Prime Minister Perez. We saw the stoning of cars outside that emergency cabinet meeting. Are you worried that we're seeing a return to the polarized situation in Israel that led up to the assassination of Prime Minister Rabin last November?
It's a danger, and I called on all the demonstrators, first of all on the Likud supporters who've heeded my call, not to engage in that kind of demonstration. First of all, it's wrong, because the attack shouldn't be, or the venom, if you will, the anger, which is natural, shouldn't be directed at the Prime Minister of Israel. The Prime Minister of Israel, from whatever party, is the Prime Minister of all the people. And secondly, I think that it will help the terrorists achieve what they're trying to do. What they're trying to do is divide us, break our morale, and they're not going to break us. And we're going to unite. There may be a few hotheads who are carried away, but the large mass of the people will unite behind a resolute policy of the government, and we'll break these people who are trying to break us. We won't let them do it.
Before we began taping this interview, you said that you believe that there was a guiding hand behind all of these attacks, that they have been coordinated. What exactly do you mean?
Well, according to the reports that we received, there was a systemic hand or organization beyond at least the last 3 bombings. In other words, they were dispatched from a particular headquarters, and that's I think an important thing that has to be understood. These are not isolated individuals who decide to go and immolate themselves. Every one of these suicide bombers has a whole infrastructure of people who equip him, who give him the ammunition, who direct him, who inculcate him, who promise to take care of his family after he dies. There's no, it's not just a solitary madman. So those people who are sending out these killers they don't want to die. They live very happily in Gaza or in any one of the West Bank sanctuaries, and they're happy to see these people kill themselves, but they themselves are protected. We have to rob them of immunity. We have to make sure that we can strike at them and destroy that whole base or bases that exist there. And once we do that, I think you can understand that terror will, if not be reduced, eliminated entirely, reduced substantially. I'm sure of that.
Do you believe that these bases are just within Israel, or do you think that there is some foreign connection?
Well, there may be foreign connections, and certainly you may have some connections even in the United States. Hamas has a very considerable presence in the United States and in Europe, where it receives funds and sometimes even instructions. And I think the American government is aware of that. It's trying to take some actions against it. The European governments are less active. We all have to increase our activity. You know, in the 1970s or in the 1980s, I appeared more than once on Nightline when there appeared to be a problem that was insoluble. This was airplanes, bombings and hijackings literally blown out in the sky, and people said, well, there's nothing you can do about it. It's a handful of deranged or desperate individuals. I thought differently. I thought that if we acted against the terrorists themselves and acted against those who give them shelter and guidance and safe havens, that is the terrorist states and organizations that send them, then we can indeed bring this problem to a halt, which we did. And the same thing can happen here. We can bring this problem to a halt, if not reducing it completely, almost reducing it to insignificance. This is something we'll do, and we'll do it together. By that I mean not only the people of Israel, but I think all nations of good conscience who want to see peace prevail in our world and who want to see the savagery stopped. I'm sure that includes the United States before us.
Mr. Netanyahu, thank you very much. We appreciate your talking with us on this very difficult day. When we return, a conversation with Israeli Foreign Minister Ehud Barak, who explains the government's new Get Tough measures.
Bud Tatum, a disaster volunteer, saved a man from bleeding to death at the Oklahoma City bombing. Connie Sessoms keeps a child alive by giving blood every 56 days. Antoinette Giordano wrote a check that kept a family off the street. The people of the Red Cross are known for quick action and acts of goodness. Now it's your turn to act. Give us your time, support, and blood, because help can't wait.
You could never shave again. You could go into work tomorrow and tell them you're taking a year off. When people ask for your honest opinion, you can give it to them. But while you're considering these options, driving a Saab is a very good start. Lease a 96 Saab 900 S5 door for $269 a month.
Next time, peace in the Middle East jeopardized by another bombing, plus a preview of Mini Super Tuesday.
That's next time
on Good Morning America.
Well, we always watch Channel 2. We enjoy the personality of all the anchor people there.
We have an awful lot of choices here in Corvallis, Eugene, Portland, but we go to Channel 2. There's many times where you've elected not to go to commercial when you felt that it's important to tell a story, and we appreciate that.
I certainly feel that the fact that they stayed on the air without commercials for all that time to really let us know what was happening, I felt that they really did give us the extra effort.
A sick child had a wish that he thought would make him feel better.
I thought it'd be fun to have a good piano.
A lot of the children we see have extreme hardship. Children such as Robin in the Channel 2 story have already shown a great desire for music in their lives. It's wonderful to see Channel 2 helping and the community helping as well. Robin actually lit up like a Christmas tree when the piano was delivered, and it was just so heartwarming to see his response.
Before anyone you know moves to Portland, they should take the first step. KATU Step 1 to Portland and vicinity. This 30-minute video is the easy way to compare lifestyles in different areas of Portland by home and apartment styles, school districts, commutes, recreation, crime data, and more.
Step 1 to Portland is sponsored by these fine companies and available by calling 1-800-659-1553.
Earlier this evening, I spoke with Israeli Foreign Minister Ehud Barak. I asked him about the government's decision to strike, even in areas now controlled by the Palestinians, and what that will mean to the peace process.
Unfortunately, the terrorists are coming from areas or directed from areas under the control of the Palestinian Authority, as long as they will operate against them, and if they will crush them, we won't need to do it, but we allowed our defense and security forces to take whatever steps that will be needed in order to defeat terrorism.
Aren't you basically saying, sir, that you don't trust Yasser Arafat to maintain law and order? And if that's the case, how can you go forward with the peace process?
We are still expecting him to do exactly this, to outlaw these organizations, to arrest and detain their leaders, and to disarm all of them. The opportunity is there. He can seize it. But if he fails to do that, we cannot see how to continue in the peace process, in the implementation of the interim agreement, and entering into the permanent status negotiation if he cannot live up to his commitments in the agreement that had already been signed.
As you say, the government announced tonight that they will take the fight against the bombers anywhere. Does that include into other countries that may be providing support for the terrorists?
Anywhere means anywhere, period.
Including other countries?
Anywhere means anywhere, period.
Mr. Foreign Minister, I know that the last thing you're thinking about tonight is politics, but a member of the inner circle of the Labor government was quoted today in a newspaper here in the United States as saying that this bombing campaign has just made Benjamin Netanyahu Israel's next prime minister. Isn't it going to be awfully hard to be seen as the party of peace during this terrorist campaign?
The emotions of the people are now at hate that would not allow any kind of rational discussion. But my judgment is that much before the election, the people will realize once again that our struggle with terror is a continued struggle. We had never stopped it. It has nothing to do with any party. I spent most of my life, some 35 years, in uniform, fighting against terrorism, and I never noticed that the terrorists had ever gave a damn about the question who is sitting in the chair of the prime minister, whether it's Likud or Labour.
Given the situation now, the great anger and obviously the great insecurity, would the Labour government consider postponing the elections from May till a later date to allow this anti-terrorism campaign to proceed and not to be dominated, the political campaign to be dominated by this bombing campaign?
I don't think that we should discuss right now in this evening or even tomorrow any kind of political aspect of this campaign. The struggle against or the fighting against terrorism is something that should unite the whole people of Israel, and in a way should unite the whole peoples of the region, and in a way the whole world.
You know, there has been talk about Hamas being behind this, but there are now some analysts saying that, in fact, Hamas has splintered, that there may be various factions, some groups that are for this bombing campaign, others against it. Just how much of a unified enemy are you fighting, and how difficult is it going to be to root that enemy out?
It's going to be very tough, and we might face another event of terrorism and might pay the price, but we are determined to go ahead as long as it will be needed until we will defeat terrorism. For us, the only enemies are those who are carrying arms and explosives and carrying out terrorism. We have nothing to do with orphan schools or with medical or welfare services that are given by the Hamas. The Hamas is a political entity, doesn't interest us, but the Hamas as a kind of terrorist organization is strongly interest us.
Mr. Foreign Minister, I want to finish by asking you a question that I also asked Mr. Netanyahu. When you see the peace process, as you say, facing a great challenge, being put on hold, at least for now, with the political situation in Israel being thrown into some turmoil, anger again in the streets, aren't the terrorists winning, at least at this point? Aren't they accomplishing exactly what they want to accomplish?
I don't think so. They want to kill Israelis. They want to shake our both our willpower and our self-confidence. They want to take over their own society, and until now they fail in all of these except of killing innocent people. I'm quite confident that we can carry on with it under this government, and that we can unite our people toward the end of fighting effectively terrorism.
Mr. Foreign Minister, we want to thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Thank you all.
And I'll be back in a moment with a program note.
Some people are doing more business than ever on Fridays.
The Denver deal doable, Donnie? Good.
Help your business do more business with Sprint's amazing offer. For 1 full year, Fridays are free.
No, I'll call you back. It's Friday.
Every long-distance call you make on Fridays is free. The rest of the week, you get Sprint's great low flat rate.
Okay, so I'll call you next Friday.
Call now. 1-800-598-5000 for free Fridays at work. Only from Sprint Business.
We're very fortunate to have such a wonderful family.
After his operation, his body was like twice the normal size. He was on this respirator for 3 weeks. It was kind of lonely around here.
I got Aflac through our company. The owner of the company felt that we should have it. It turned out fabulous.
Aflac covers the unexpected costs of getting better so you can get on with life.
Everything worked out wonderful.
Its roomy interior can accommodate 3,000 comfortably. It boasts advanced safety features, ergonomically designed control panels, and a superior ventilation system for cleaner air. Announcing Ford Motor Company's state-of-the-art assembly plants. All the enhancements we made for the people in here may be appreciated most by the people in here. Ford, quality is job one.
Okay, camera left. No, right.
In business news, the paper trail widens in the discount long-distance controversy known as RateGate.
A discount long-distance company promised dramatic savings over AT&T. But watch what happens when you compare similar calling plans.
Those numbers are about the same.
What happened to that 15% savings?
The answer when we return. Clearly, they don't hold up.
And we're out.
Call 1-800-COMPARE for a competitive price you can believe in.
At Honda, we don't think a car that's affordable and exceptional is too much to ask for. After all, the Accord has carved out a nice niche being exactly that. And now with 3.9% APR financing for up to 48 months, its affordability is more clear-cut than ever. In fact, it's an offer so solid, it's carved in stone. Get 3.9% APR financing for 48 months on any Accord.
My old eating habits. I felt frustrated with diets. I called Jenny Craig because I wanted to go on my cruise the following year and I wanted to look good. My consultant kept me on track. I lost 22 pounds. We were losing the weight, we were cutting the fat out of my life.
It's time to get ready for spring. Now lose all the weight you want at Jenny Craig for just $1 a pound. Call 1-800-96-JENNY. That's 1-800-96-JENNY.
Those old diets, I think they'd be great for confetti for my next cruise.
Is your home breathing?
This Earth Alert tip comes to you from News Channel 8 and Portland General Electric.
It's important to have good ventilation in your home so that carbon monoxide doesn't build up. Carbon monoxide is an odorless, invisible gas that's harmful to your health. So have your stove, water heater, furnace, or wood stove checked. And if you use your chimney, make sure it's clean twice a year. You can also use carbon monoxide detectors from your hardware store to help keep you and your home breathing easy.
Recently, Dairy Queen has been filling my head with all kinds of new Blizzard and Breeze flavors. What do you think about thick, chunky fudge Oreo, crunchy cappuccino heat, or creamy mint M&Ms at $1.29? All 3 Blizzard and Breeze flavors for only $1.29. I can't wait to dig in. But first things first, for hot eats, cool treats, think DQ.